Mary Beth Hendrick. I am the transitions coordinator here at Lincoln Land, and Patty Mendoza is joining us as well. She is the director. And today we want to talk to you just a little bit about how we've approached marketing for ICAPS and Bridge. Now, earlier, if you're in our session, this will be a little repetitive, but it's still great information. Maybe something new will come to you. So if you did see it earlier, hopefully a new idea will pop up for you as well. So, so really for our marketing, I think the very first thing that was really important for us to be innovative and start thinking outside the box was really talking to our partners here at Lincoln Land. So, I mean, first and foremost, our marketing department. We've been very fortunate to have a very supportive marketing department, as well as Lincoln Land itself has really stood by us, and they're really trying to help us be known here on campus. So we've sat down with PRM and just really talked about all the pieces of our programming here and what they mean. And then secondly, what else we reached out to the different departments that we have ICAPS or bridges for. So auto tech, CNA, diesel, and we're working on hospitality. So those conversations are coming up as well. But really sitting down and talking to them and talking about their programs, understanding what it is their students need when it comes to supporting that piece of their programming. Now, one thing that PRM did do is have a focus group. And what we were able to do is we pulled staff, we pulled students, different people on campus, and we all sat together and just talked about what is adult education? What do our students, how are our students experience? What are they experiencing? Do they feel a part of the campus? And what we really found from that was that our students didn't feel like they were a part of Lincoln Land. They felt they were separate, and that's just not what we want to do, especially with ICAPS and Bridge. Like that is the connecting point into a certificate, a degree program, and hopefully a very nice paying job. So having that focus group was a big, I think it was a way to break the ground and get clear on the message that we want to paint to our students. And then lastly, we really wanted to get into the Lincoln Land Forward magazine. So that it's a wonderful magazine that paints a picture of all the different programs they have. And so PRM actually did a very nice job of highlighting one of our ICAPS programs, and you will get to see that. And so we've gotten to be in there a few times. So it's nice that they are really trying to get that message out there about what this programming is, because it can be hard to understand as a student why they need an ICAPS or why they need a bridge. So we're trying to paint that picture that it's really there to help set them up for success. And so after our focus group, we've decided we need to really rebrand and show that our program is Lincoln Land. We are just not Lincoln Land Adult Education. We are Lincoln Land. We're not separate. We want to build a community with the other students here. And so what does that mean? That means we need new banners, we need new business cards, we need new flyers. So banners being worked on at this moment. We do have these neat business cards that I will show you here shortly. And then flyers, just kind of redesigning that. We are still in the works of redesigning our website though. So, but it's been a process. It's something that I don't think, or at least I don't feel that when you're rebranding, you need to take your time and make sure you're getting that message out correctly. And so that you can really communicate what it is that you're trying to give these students, which is a chance to succeed. Now, as far as design goes, this is something that we worked with marketing on and off about. So, and that's the thing is with that communication, it does take trial and error, or saying, that's not really what I was thinking about. Maybe we can try this. So that constant communication has been really important for us. For example, we would ask for a flyer about our digital marketing program. Well, it wasn't really what we had in mind. So we did have to go back and say, well, we were thinking of a half sheet. And the reason why is because flyers, how many times do you grab a flyer and just kind of fold it up, stash it away until you need it again? We were trying to get away from that. So we did go back and say, this is what we're actually thinking. And then adding QR codes so that it takes them directly to the information. Sometimes when the students look at a flyer or half sheet, there's just too much going on, and we just want to make the message simple. And if you have the ability to text, highly recommend it. We use Mongoose, and so that has been the best way for our students to communicate with us, as well as with them. I feel like it's really helped in retention as well. So that having a text number definitely helps in that aspect. And lastly, making sure our students know that we are here to support them in a number of different ways. When it comes to mental health, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to bus passes, we want to make sure that they see that's available to them. So this is an example of the Forward magazine. This is our CNA ICAPS that we had last spring. And it was such a wonderful experience because they came over and took an hour, couple hours. They talked to our students. They really talked to the instructor. They talked to the staff, and really got the idea of how to paint this picture for the community, for folks on campus, for students to just understand what this means. What does ICAPS really mean? What are we trying to give them? And just showing that this is a support for them. And we're really excited to learn that those 4 students pictured there were the top of their class. So we know it works. We know it works, and we are trying to convey to them that this might be extra time, but in the end, it's going to pay off for you. It is really going to pay off for you. So we're really proud of them this past year. And then this is the forward from this month. And again, just painting a picture of our program, get the student stories. It just makes such a difference. And getting a picture and just showing the excitement, the transitions that they have made in their lives, I think really speaks very highly. So, and just letting them know, like, this can be your first step. We will be here right with you along the way. If it's not working for you right now, we're still here for you. So just come back and see us when you're ready. And I think that's what we continue to try to convey to our students, and just try to work with them and let them know it's never too late. Now, these are some examples of our materials that we've redesigned. So, and so if you see with Fuel Your Ambition, one of our students went through our ESL program. He's gone through the certificate programs. So really just having him on there with a nice quote makes such a difference. And he's such a big advocate for our program. He's always stopping by and bringing us students. And again, along with this material, just presenting, this is what we have for you. You can see, well, I'm not sure if it's on this one, but there's a text number, there's a QR code right there. And it's simple, it lays it out, it's not too busy. And then if you take a look at the middle, that's our little business card. Now on the back of that, it has everything we offer, again, with our text number. And then, like I said, we always want our students to know that we're going to support them in any way we can possible. And just being able to list, like, this is what we have to help you. So, if you think this is going to be a problem for you making it to class, or this is going to be a struggle, we're telling you right now that we have support to help you.
Can I just interject for a moment? So
Yes.
just so you also know, Max is actually on one of our billboards here in Springfield, that the credit side put together, but it's just so nice that they wanted to put an adult ed student on there, and he's on a billboard, and I think even on a bus. So So he's super excited every time he has taken pictures. So it's always great to see that.
Yes, thank you. And then for ICAPS, now this is, like I said, one of the first steps we needed to make was talking with PRM, but also talking with the different departments. And a really nice example of this is if you take a look at auto skill building, we had to come up with a way to communicate what this class was. It's, and we felt kind of looking at, if this is what we're going to give them, how can we market this so that they can understand this a little better? So we call it skill building. We call our ICAPS program skill building because it's really working on all those essential skills to be successful in their program and in the workplace. And again, well, in the marketing department, I think they got pretty creative. I mean, give your career a shot in the arm with CNA skill building, which I think is pretty neat, or rev up your career with auto skill building. So just some examples of how we promote our ICAPS. And again, I mean, you see the QR code, you see the text, and then just kind of a brief synopsis of what this class is going to give you or give the student. Now for bridge programming, we are still we're still working through that. Again, when it comes to these programs, I think don't rush it. Just take your time and get that messaging right. And yeah, I think it's made a big difference in being able to not only communicate that to people at Lincoln Land, but also out in the community. And so, yes, it's a little short and sweet, but Patty, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think you've covered it.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Wonderful. And do go ahead and put in the chat if you have any questions. We'll also have a couple more times that we stop throughout these sessions to, have some questions. So thank you so much for sharing wonderful ideas, wonderful examples with beautiful slides and pictures. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll put our emails in the chat box, so just so everyone knows.
Perfect. Oh, and we have our first question. Patty asked, what social media do you use? Good question.
So we use Facebook and Instagram right now. So I know that one of the other staff members does a pretty good job at posting when we're getting ready to launch an ICAPS program, or but we do have to go through Lincoln Land and follow their codes and regulations. So
But we do have our own adult ed Facebook page, so that's nice to put it on there. But they also get added on to the main page as well.
Okay, and next we have Ann Eads from Illinois Central College here to talk to us about their innovations in marketing as well.
And thank you, Mary Beth and Patty. That was a wonderful example of how you're using marketing to get the word out and promote your student success stories and programs. We at Illinois Central College are still working on that partnership with our marketing. We don't have the access to social media. They don't allow us to use it yet, but we are finding other ways to advertise our program. So we decided last spring to have a Bridge ICAPS open house fair. And we have a video that explains some of what we did and the purpose behind it. So I'll share that.
Thank you. Inside of the house and just kind of asked what they knew about our program. We have 4 bridge tracks and programs, and then 2 ICAPS. And we kind of just wanted to know where our students stood with the program, what they knew about. We were experiencing a little bit of a low enrollment, kind of like a dip in our bridge enrollment. And we just kind of wanted to know why. Was it a lack of awareness? Was it a lack of interest? Were we not having the right programs? And the survey revealed that our students had a very limited awareness of the programs in our oftentimes it was happening after they had already done testing and registration and had already gotten their heads what kind of class they were going to be in. So we decided that we needed to kind of change that introduction to the programming. And one way we could do that was capitalizing on kind of like an open house as an introduction to current students this spring that joined at like the second 8-week mark or some of our advanced ESL students. So from that survey, 85% of our GED students were interested in bridge programs. And then on Monday, everybody that was in a Monday class, they went to the open house, and 100% of them signed up to receive more information. So that is awesome. That shows that everybody kind of had an like a desire to learn more information, and maybe they just didn't know where to get it from, or needed that little boost of confidence in a relationship built. So 100% is like the perfect rate that you would want of every student wants to know more. And from that, so far, we've had contact with 20% of them that they met with our transition team. We've talked about next steps, whether they're going to enroll in a bridge class in the fall, and what that looks like for those students. So we had some goals, and we also obviously had some misses for that. Our classes meet on Monday, Wednesdays, and Tuesday, Thursdays. In the spring, this was our pilot, and we only had the fair on Monday, Wednesdays. So we did miss students that were attending class on Tuesday, Thursdays, or in the afternoon. So that is one thing that, as we move forward and we adapt this programming, we're looking at what times are going to be the best to make sure that every student has the opportunity to learn this information and have those conversations. And whether that is we offer it, have the open house multiple days a week, multiple times. We had it in the morning and in the evening, but we did not have an afternoon session. And then again, we missed those Tuesday, Thursday students. So as we are examining like the data and looking at the conversations with students, our 100% rate from the Monday morning and Monday evening lets us know that Tuesday, Thursday, well, those students probably want that same information. So in the fall, we'll be looking at how to adapt that programming a little bit better. A lot of these students, like I mentioned, were super excited to talk about different pathways, and having the conversations with industry professionals about credentials that are available to them. And will also help with our retention, we believe, and then just having a real goal in front of them, instead of, sometimes it's hard for them to have an idea, talk about it in class, and then not feel like that goal is achievable. And if they learn about bridge too late, for some of our students, they felt like it was too late for them to join a bridge class. But having so many people there that were encouraging them and letting them know that this is an option for them was so encouraging and so awesome for all of our staff to even see. And then again, the timeliness of this, as we're working through these SMART goals, it was timely as students are passing their GED tests right now, and they can feel that confidence. Some of them maybe have like 1 or 2 GED tests under their belt. It is untimely right now because we don't have a bridge course scheduled for the summer. We are experiencing a teacher shortage right now, as I'm sure many of you are, and then also just a few scheduling conflicts. So putting that little like bug in their ear about coming back in August is hard. They're so excited right now, and we want that excitement to continue for the next 3 months. So making sure that we have a lot of touch points with those students through the summer is going to be super critical for us. I know Anne already has like a list of names and students that she's going to keep in contact with over the summer, because we don't want them to lose that excitement. We don't want them to come down from this feeling of it's achievable and it's attainable for me, and then they come back in August, or they decide not to come back in August because we didn't follow through immediately. Again, there are some students that they just feel like they need to focus on the GED right now, and that not all classes could be included in the fair or the open house because of scheduling conflicts. And I'll turn it over to Anne.
Thank you, Macy. My name is Anne, Transitions ICAPS Coordinator, ESL Navigator at ICC, Illinois Central College. And a shout out to Ariel Cook, who is our amazing administrative assistant student coach who has a master's in multimedia. So she helped design brochures and flyers. And we had flyers sent out to all the students, and then around the campus, we also
sent some of them to social service agencies and a few restaurants where we thought we could potentially help some current GED and ESL students or future students be aware of our programs. And then the brochure was designed to give a synopsis of our programs, some of the prerequisites and the goals that the programs include. So the flyer, I think, was an appealing design. And again, shout out to Ariel for her help on that. In the future, we'll be thinking about doing a much broader marketing, and marketing in itself is a challenge because right now Illinois Central College has not given us the approval to use their brand, but we will be using the communication module and templates that you have provided us, and that solves that problem. And it's a professional, respected brand that we can use in the future, and we appreciate that very much. Next slide, please. Thank you. One of our chief focuses were to include students, current and graduate students, as well as instructors who are in the Bridge and ICAPS programs now. And we wanted our students who were visiting the open house to be able to ask students of their experiences and ask the instructors specific questions. I think that connection was important. And we had one of our teachers, our partner, team teacher partners in medical terminology, offer this testimony complimenting our student coach who is supporting our ICAPS for healthcare students. And just an example of the support that we offer in our ICAPS programs is the student coach. This is in both ICAPS, welding and healthcare, and how integral those coaches can be to the student success and completion of the programs. And so if you read her comments, our student coach, Kathy Hardy, and the healthcare ICAPS program, who was there at the fair, is much respected because of her work that she does. And so we will continue with that student coach piece in all of our ICAPS programs. It makes a huge difference for students to be able to succeed. And testimonials. Larry Labello is the coordinator of our CNA program, and she has been working with our ICAPS and Bridge programs since its inception. And so I would love for her to talk a little bit in the video about her experiences with ICAPS, please.
And I can play these. I just want to be very conscious of our time together. We did, I'll just add a little bit here. We had teachers who are team teaching our ICAPS programs. We had simulators for, I think I'll just move ahead a little bit here. We had simulators for the healthcare bridge as well as the welding bridge and IT ICAPS programs. Those simulators allowed the guests coming to the fair to practice blood pressure and the stethoscope, to practice welding machines, and also to look at a computer taken apart with labels, and as well as a laptop where they could practice creating a cartoon. So we had interactive activities at each table, and that was appealing to the students and could give them a greater idea of what the program would involve. The reason our ICAPS fair, I think, was successful is that it brought everyone together. It brought existing students, graduate students, teachers, student coaches, and it was marketed strictly to our existing students. Because of the marketing restrictions that we have, we focus just on that as a target. However, we are using the flyers that we created for the fair in community events. We are sending them to the Hope Network, which is a collective body of all the social service agencies in the central Illinois area. And we are probably the most important piece of our Bridge ICAPS fair is now what's integrated in, I'll stop sharing, now what's integrated in our orientation. What we've learned from the Bridge ICAPS fair is that our students need more information. They need more specifics. They need, what is this program about? What are the parameters? How can I benefit? What are the eligibility requirements? And so we are taking pieces of that ICAPS Bridge fair and incorporating it into each an orientation for our GED and ESL students, so that we, for example, have a table set up in the all-purpose room. We have representatives from Bridge and ICAPS. We have representatives from the library, from the Academic Support Center, from Goodwill, from different resources in the area. It's become a resource fair that's presented at each orientation. And that has been done now twice. And the students who are in the testing and orientation are eligible to look at the Bridge and ICAPS programs and sometimes sign up immediately. We're still working on marketing. We do have now a tile on the ICC website of student successes, and we've had 2 students from GED and ESL on our website, our ICC website of student successes. So we see that as a promising door to opening further sharing. We are this morning, we're being more increasingly invited to college in general events. I was invited to present information on our programs. I was teaching on, unfortunately, but I see an increased partnership with our college-based classes and instructors that has improved from our reaching out, and especially from the Bridge ICAPS fair. So forgive the technology problems at the beginning, but I'm happy that we were able to complete the Bridge ICAPS fair, and now we are integrating that information into each orientation that we provide after testing every 8 weeks. So it's transitioned to that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anne. And thank you for sharing. And also thank you for kind of sharing your reflections and thoughts and results at the end. I think it's really important for people to hear. Does anyone have any questions for Anne at this point?
I can share that the cost was less than $200 because our flyers were designed by Ariel Cook, who is our student success and administrative assistant. And so the cost was really, I think, low compared to the results that we received. And now we're using those flyers as marketing to various community stakeholders and college events. So it was a low cost marketing for sure. It wasn't with the ICC brand, but successful nevertheless.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Well, again, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we should have some time for Q&A at the end. And yes, thank you for sharing the cost. I know that's always on everyone's mind. So perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have Dr. Margaret Segerson and Becky Wade from ROE 33 and Alan Burns from Sandburg here to talk to us about their innovations in marketing for their ICAPS programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Okay, so we'll get right into it. Our marketing started when we were at the Transitions Academy last year, and we brought our marketing people from the Regional Office of Education 33 and Carl Sandburg College. And then the marketing toolkit was available for us, and that sparked brochure making and flyer making, PowerPoint presentations. So the first one is the adult education overview that I presented at the Lions, Rotary, and Kiwanis clubs. We have 3 different county human services councils that I'm involved with, and I've presented at 2 of those. And then over the summer, we had some county summer fests that the ROE organized. So we didn't present this there because it was outdoors, but we gave this flyer. So here's our adult ed overview flyer of all of the programs that we offer. These are all the counties. This is everywhere we serve. We partner with Carl Sandburg Community College. And here's some more marketing that we used with ICCB's template. So thank you for all of the templates that you started for us. And this is something that we used for an open house at ROE when we moved into, all of us combined into one large building, and we had a ribbon cutting and had people from the community come visit us. So this was a part of that. And we have, actually we have a new flyer that'll replace this one. So I've been sending our old flyers to our marketing person so we can update the flyers. And of course, here's a part of that ICAPS PowerPoint that we got with the Transitions Academy, the ICAPS toolkit. So thank you so much for that. And we just updated it with all of our ICAPS that we have currently and to be coming. And then we did use some of the flyers. I looked at some flyers from other junior colleges, community colleges, and ROEs, and kind of used their ideas to do a flyer for each ICAPS. And it was very wordy and it was 2 pages. So I sent those to our marketing person. So that way we could reduce it down to a half a page. Here's our CNA one. And this needs to be updated, but this is the checklist of everything that they need for CNA. I've also made one for phlebotomy for the spring, and I'll make more for the other ICAPS that we have. And then there's the flyers for CNC and computer support and phlebotomy. And the phlebotomy checklist. Maybe I did update that. There's my contact information that I put on a lot of our flyers so that students can contact me if they're interested and have questions. Our registration presentation was just a shorter version. It just included ICAPS, the ICAPS flyers. So basically the presentation that was given to us, we tweaked this. So thank you for the wonderful beginning. And we just added our flyers to that and the checklist again. There are some videos there with testimonies. And our partnerships with employers, we're going to use Employment 101. So glad that we had that presentation today. And I've been having feature Fridays with different employers in the surrounding area and some people from Sandburg coming in to teach our students resume building and how to apply to Carl Sandburg and get the ICAPS process rolling, the testing center so they know where to go for the high-set testing. And then we're gonna have CNA, phlebotomy, CTE. So yeah, with our partners, our students will know what they can achieve while they're earning their high school diploma or learning English. And then this is our trifold. And again, we just used what the marketing department had already put together and added what we have. with the testimonies, and we need to update the ICAPS. Now we offer 6 instead of 3, so we're just growing and growing. And again, our flyers. And I have, do you want to say anything?
No, we just kind of turned this over to Becky last year. She went and started digging into the marketing presentations from last year's presentation and has really just taken off on it, and quite proud of her and in the direction that she's gone. And a lot of these flyers are floating around Carl Sandburg and throughout the entire community and in Galesburg and Monmouth and everywhere. So it's great to see. So
a couple other things I wanted to add. I am involved with our marketing committee at the ROE. Also, I've reached out to the WIRC, so we're going to be hopefully added as a resource to their website. And then there's some other websites that I can't think of, but anyway, if you want to market, I would say get on everybody's website that you can.
there's a question in the chat box that I see is the material on Sandberg's. I don't know that it's on Sandberg's, but it's on the ROE's website. And we're trying to spruce that website up. That's kind of in the process right now.
And there's a Facebook page, and there are some flyers on the ROE Facebook page that are adult education specific. You'll have to filter through. There's a lot of programs at the ROE.
And I wouldn't say it's out of the question for it to not be on Sandberg's website. It's just that over the last year, they've been developing a new website that's supposed to have a soft launch soon internally. And then will be further developed. So perhaps it will exist somewhere on the new page. Site page.
Any questions for us?
Well, you have to have questions. And thinking everyone else here and thinking about how you might use some of these ideas, materials, resources, what kind of questions does that bring up for you? You have a captive audience of people who have gone through it. So you can unmute or put in the chat. We're happy to relay questions from the chat as well.
I know at the ROE, they use Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, our own website.
For ICCB, we are encouraging everybody to market your bridge and ICAPS separately whenever you can. And just, you think about your past years of enrollment, how many are you getting that come in and want a GED class or an ESL class? And that's really all they want. They want to get their GED, get a job, improve their English, get a job. So when you market your CNA ICAPS or your welding ICAPS or something else, you're really targeting people that actually want that career path. And you just have to make sure that they are testing within our adult ed limits. And they could have their high school diploma and still test within our range. We don't really want to target anybody that already has a college degree, however. So it's got to be adult ed learners or lower level learners on the credit side. Even invite them over to fill up some of your ICAPS classes. If they're testing within our limits, they could be served. And that's just my 2 cents worth there.
And if I may just kind of add in, because I didn't put it in the presentation necessarily, it's terminology I use when I talk with the students and visit classrooms, but I say we have career exploration and career preparation. So if you're looking to explore different careers, let's get you in a bridge class. If you are looking to start working on your certificate and get prepared for that career, let's look at ICAPS class. So I always try to think of this programming as, do you want to explore something or prepare for something? I'm not sure if that's helpful, but.
Yeah, I will also say if you are adding, GD, ESL, all of those things to a student, they get really overwhelmed because many of them can't focus more than with one subject at a time, or even in our GD classes. So when you're talking about 5 years from now, you'll have all of this stuff, they get a little overwhelmed, and sometimes they may take a day off or two, or maybe not come back because it's just overwhelming for them. So we do have it separate for our bridge and our ICAPS for that part of that reason. So
And we also do have it as students are welcome to take it whenever they want, really. But the instructors and coordinators know that, hey, if they have 2 or 3 done, they need to go talk to Mary Beth so that she can start to help transition them. So they just it's already a part of their pathway. When they get pretty much 3 done, they have to see me.
These slides will be shared and much of the material is in there. Some of it is also uploaded into the updated ICAPS toolkit on the ICAPS website. And for the parts that I haven't asked for permission to put it on there, I'll probably be doing that over the next couple of days. But we've erased and then updated a lot of information on there. So there are new ICAPS jot form submission examples in there. There are some syllabi. There are some marketing materials, much of which came from the presenters today. So thank you. So make sure to check out the updated ICAPS toolkit for some marketing materials. Also on there is the presentation from last spring that Margaret had mentioned, that they kind of took and were able to customize some of the marketing materials, and the other programs, it looks like they were able to do that as well. So that is also linked in the ICAPS toolkit, so you can use those materials. Please do. That's what it was for. They were created by a professional who worked with us and learned about what ICAPS was, and she tried to create some materials that were customizable and professional looking for you. So please use those. Those are all linked there. Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? Well, I'd like to once again thank our presenters for sharing today. Also, thank you to all of our attendees for joining us for the 2024 Transitions Academy Fall Convening.